Hi, this is D S Yoxtheimer, another edition of the Spectre, and I'm back up in Centralia, PA. I'm doing some paranormal investigating at my EMF detector. Not that that's really going to help that much. What is formerly known as, this is Locust Street. There's really nothing here anymore, just the streets, sidewalks, and a lot of overgrowth from where there were homes. So it's in the early evening. It's quite windy. It's getting cold. So let's go check it out. I'm going to go up this dark path where the road ends, and I don't know, see if we can get some cool readings, and I don't know, maybe I'll see some sort of, ghost of some kind of miner, some Scooby-Doo shit. Let's check it out. So that was just some of the beginning footage of me. I was up there in Centralia just at dusk, and it was much colder than it was in the lower elevation where I was coming from, and decided to see, I wanted to go to an area where there was no power, and to sort of further test this EMF device. Even though I know it really doesn't work, basically, but just for the sake of, for fun, I thought I'd go up there, and as you'll see further along in this video, I get a little spooked. I get actually scared, because it's dark, it's cold, it's windy, and I'm in the middle of an abandoned town, for a mostly abandoned town. So you'll see, it's pretty comical in retrospect. Okay, so that's going towards the old cemetery. That's where actually the mine fire started, and there's the route, part of Route 60. Well, the main road going through town, Old Mine Road, where you get to 42 and Route 61. There's a little path there, so we're just going to go up here. It did click a little. I got a couple of blips on it. This is ridiculous. It's just a scary path. It's where it's sort of dusk, and it's February. Last time I was up here, it was last Halloween, 2017. So this is, it's getting cold. All right, there's the car. This looks dangerous. Okay, so no readings in the ground. Okay, we'll check it out just further up the trail and see what we can find. I just got some reading. It's hard to see because there's like literally no fucking light. I got some readings in this spot. And I'm not sure, because there's not a lot of power lines around here. There's only a few residents left in Centralia. I'll go up here. Okay. There's like a clearing. This is like, people ride their ATVs up here, so there's some of these paths. And this might have been a spot where someone's home was. And right there's a big clearing, and across that is one of the cemeteries of Centralia. Okay. I'm just trying to see what sort of readings I can get. Okay. So coming out to another dirt roadway, and this is the spot I was at before after I left the cemetery. The cemetery is right across the field there. Oh, there's a little blip. There was a little red blip there. Oh, it's starting. No, that's from the camera. That's the camera. I don't know, it's not doing it now. So yeah, not a lot of conclusive readings with the EMF. There's a little blip, and that could be from the camera, or doesn't seem to be going off as I put it near the camera. I highly doubt it's from ghosts. I don't know. It is a very eerie, haunting place. It's technically a ghost town, although there are several residents left here. It's getting very cold, and I am going to depart soon. I think so. But it was a little bit of an interesting stop here, coming back to Centralia and investigating it. Very poor fucking paranormal investigation, that is, on a budget. But yeah, this thing did not yield a whole hell of a lot. So I'm gonna go back to my car. I'm getting kind of scared. This place is kind of freaking me out. I must say, it's very, at night it is as nice, at least as night falls. It's a rather scary place, and this thing's kind of giving me some readings. Ooh, it just jumped up. It jumped from 0 to nothing. So 0 to 12, 0 to, it really will go up. Yeah, 64. Huh. So yeah, I think it's time to get out of here. This is D S Yoxtheimer. This is another edition of the Spectre. I might just shoot another. Oh, there it is. Just jumped again. I think I should get out of here. I think that would be a good idea. Yep, it is. Good idea. So as I was up there, the EMF meter jumped around quite a bit as I was coming back to the path to the old street, and it's kind of freaking me out a little bit. I mean, it was wind. It's getting very cold all of a sudden. I mean, it's just the weather. It's cold, but it was bouncing around in a spot where there's no power lines. I don't know what's underneath. I mean, it's not. I mean, the coal fire, but I mean that's moved. So I'm not sure, but it was a little freaky. I was a little freaked out. So I'm gonna get out of here and go back to Bloomsburg, because this thing, I don't want to be here right now. Honestly, I don't want to be here. It was not frightening when I was here before because it was daytime. Nighttime in Centralia, Pennsylvania is a little freaky. It's a little scary. There's only, especially if you're in one of the more desolate spots. Well, the whole place is pretty desolate, but, so yeah, I'm going to depart while my car still starts and I don't get stuck here, like in some Children of the Corn movie or whatever. It's getting majorly Stephen fucking King here, so I'm going to get out. So yeah, this has been another edition of The Spectre. I'm D S Yoxtheimer, and don't go to Centralia, Pennsylvania at night. I would advise against it, especially if you have one of these. This thing is just jumping all over. You can see, and it's 0 now, but see, it was going like way up high, and then 0. It's just, yeah, I don't know. See, it went off again. I'm getting out of here. Okay. The clearing that I came upon there was actually, as I saw it, a documentary film I was watching recently about Centralia. That was the old baseball field. I mean, you can't see it too clearly in that video. My previous video, Ghost of Centralia, if you go back on my YouTube channel, it's you can see it a little more clearly. It's just across from that is the cemetery, and that's near where actually the mine fire started. So that's where I wound up. at the edge. I went to the end of a street. I believe it was, as I mentioned in the video, I think it was Locust Street, in the town, and that ended. There was basically a path. People ride their ATVs up there a lot, just up on the hills, and where things were turned into sort of mounds, where they bulldozers push debris and things like that. So there's a lot of that, and activity. Last time I was up there, that's what people were doing, is riding around their ATVs. So that's why there's a lot of those paths and things like that where the streets seem to end. That's not like we're a remnant of an old street. That's just where there was probably a property and a house there at one time. So that's where I wound up, and that's where I got freaked out, because this began chirping and giving, like, it would go from like 67 or whatever to 0 very quickly. And there's no power lines right where I was. There's power lines on the main I think it's Old Coal Mine Road that goes right through town, which is part of, I think it's 41, there's Route 61. But anyway, that part of it, that's where you see the power lines, and there are some homes there that do get power that are basically on the grid. But the town in of itself is not like a legal entity. They don't have any elected officials. That's just a little bit of information, a little bit of insight into the town, and they're just sort of waiting for those people to either move or die out, so the state can either go in and start mining the place, because there's billions of dollars of pure anthracite coal under the town in that area. And actually just learned recently, the abandoned section of Highway 61 has fallen into the hands of like a private corporation. For some reason, that property, whoever owns the property adjacent to it, now they own that abandoned section of highway. So for some reason, I don't know what that is, there's some sort of deal made there with the state government of Pennsylvania and these entities, that worked out for them. So anyway, that was my little journey up there again to check things out. That was my very, very I would say kind of, I don't know if it was a failed paranormal investigation, but I don't know if I found any ghosts, but I realize even a skeptic like me can get frightened, and I guess believe enough to get back to my car as soon as possible and get out of there. So my car would start, and I wouldn't get surrounded by tree branches and get stuck there or whatever. Or some kind of poltergeist fucked up thing happened to me. So, and get sucked into the ground. I don't know what was going to happen. It just sort of felt like that for a moment, and that's why I reacted the way that I did. So, anyway, if you like my channel, subscribe. If you have any comments, or if you know anything about Centralia, or if maybe you might be related to someone who's from there, please comment below. And don't go up there at night. That's what I would advise. Don't go to Centralia, Pennsylvania at night, especially in February when it's quite cold. Go in the daytime when you can see what's around you, because it's actually could be kind of a dangerous place. There's lots of things you can trip on and like that. The mine fire isn't actually burning right under it, or it's kind of moved or gone lower or whatever the fire is doing. I don't think there's a danger of ground collapse, but I wouldn't call it a safe place at night. Anyway, take care.